fields, let it out. Get it done, get it right in the fields, let it out.
Let's get it.
Let it out. Get it done. Get it right in the fields. Let it out. Let it out. Get it done. Get it right in the fields. Let it out. Done. Get it right in the fields. Let it out. Get it done. Get it right in the fields. Let it out.
Welcome back to Redondo Sports, here bringing coverage of the CIF playoffs. We are thrilled to bring you this matchup in the second round between the Seahawks and the Swordsman. I'm Coven Mystery.
I'm Julius Choi.
And I'm Edward Rientasso.
And we got an incredible matchup on hand. Just under 10 minutes to go before this game gets underway, and we got two powerhouses on either side. Redondo coming off that incredible upset win as a 16th seed over 1 seed Torrance. What can you tell me about how they come into this matchup?
Well, one thing is for sure, last week against Torrance, it was a heavyweight battle. It was 12 rounds all the way to the very end. One of the successful key points for Redondo was defense. They had 2 interceptions. They also had 2 sacks. Bo Osmonds was actually the main player with 2 interceptions, also running the ball and getting some touchdowns as well.
Yeah, he had 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns offensively, so that's incredible versatility that they're going to need to tap into today, because the Seahawks are going to need to make plays. On the other side, they're versing the Swordsman, who have some playmakers. Keep an eye on Gavin Landon, the wide receiver, who's so far this season led them in receiving. What can you tell me about the Swordsman, Julius?
Thank you, Calvin. Well, St. Paul, they're coming off a dominant win over Etiwanda, defeating them 38-19. And, of course, that game, they ran the ball a lot. That's seen for the stats for last game. The player of the game was player number 10, Jordan Lago, 8 carries, 124 yards, and scoring 2 touchdowns. So, really, because it's raining, we'll expect to see St. Paul rain the ball a lot of times here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. just a few minutes until kickoff here. Both sides absolutely pumped, high stakes, and both sides know what's on the line. As we've seen all year on Redondo Sports, the Seahawks have worked hard, grinded through low times, gotten to a point where they really like on a big win streak, and they're looking to keep that going here.
Well, that's correct. We remember the beginning of the season, the team started off 0-3. They were facing adversity with the injuries, but midway through the season, everyone came back and healthy. They went on a 4-game winning streak. They scored a lot of points in the second half of the season, so look for that tonight here. But one of the challenging factors here, gentlemen, is the field condition that's been raining all day today.
Yeah, our cameramen do a great job, but if you can't tell, it is raining. It is raining pretty heavily, as we can tell as we're outside commentating this game. So that will play a huge factor in this game. We have two excellent quarterbacks on each side. Leinart with over an 100 quarterback rating for the Seahawks, but that might not be the biggest factor in this game. We might see a more ground-heavy attack because of the slippery conditions. It is raining out here, and both sides like to spread out the run attack, with both sides having at least 3 people over 40 rush yards per game.
Well, we saw Christian Zeno last week. He rushed over 100 yards and had a couple scores himself. Look for them to run the ball here tonight. And Julius, also the Swordsman, they ran the ball last week in their playoff game. Do you expect them to do the same thing here tonight?
Well, last week, St. Paul utilized 4 different running backs, each of them running a minimum of 20 yards. So as the rain gets heavier here in the Seahawk Bowl, we're expecting both teams to go run heavy offensively.
Yeah, keep in mind, Leinart doesn't do it as often, but both quarterbacks can run. Leinart has been known to get around the edge and lower the shoulder. He's a big, physical guy, over 200 pounds. He is good at those physical runs. On the other side, Gabriel Castaneda has been known to run. He's third on their team in rushing with over 40 rush yards per game. So the quarterbacks will make a difference.
And you're absolutely right, Calvin. Castaneda, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions this season. Hasn't really thrown a lot, but the game before the CIF playoffs, the last game of the regular season, after the Seahawks come by, he has thrown 4 touchdowns for over 200 yards in the last game of the regular season. And of course, once again, with the rain being the factor, we might see both quarterbacks throw, but most likely they're going to have to hand the ball off to the running backs.
Yeah, about a minute left until the game starts. That's some good analysis there, Julius, and that is what it will come down to. Which team can establish that run game, or or force the other team to have to throw the ball. That's going to be a huge part. The defense has to do their job to put the offense in an uncomfortable position on both sides. That's going to be what the game comes down to.
Yeah, that's correct. The defense might be the star players tonight with this weather condition. Look for them to try to pressure whoever holds the ball, try to strip the ball, cause turnovers. With this weather, it could likely happen. I had a chance to see Cole Leinart warm up here before the game, and he looks like he's ready to throw it here in the weather tonight. That's for sure.
You can start feeling the rain here, fellas.
Yeah, you thought Soak City was more wet. Get a load of this with the rain conditions here. Expect to continue throughout the entire game as well.
Seahawks are receiving, and so we'll get a chance to take a look at their offense to see Leinart on the sideline warming up to throw. Something to keep in mind for on this Swordsman defense, Isaiah Rodriguez averages 12 tackles a game from their middle linebacker position. He's going to be all over the field, so keep your eye out for that. Kickoff coming from the right hash. Let's get started. They will opt not to field this one, and they'll start with the touchback.
And Israel will see the big challenge here, the first play for Cole Leinart. What can he do with this weather, with this rain coming in now? All eyes will be on him on his first play, pass or run.
Something I've learned when watching every Redondo football game this season is that Coach Keith Ellison is not afraid to send a message on the first play of the drive. He might send a deep pass and show the Swordsman, I'm not scared of you.
That's correct. We've seen that in the last few home games. He's not afraid to test the defense, and let's see what they'll do here on this first play with Zeno at the running back position.
St. Paul's lining with a 4-3. Looks like zone coverage here, Calvin.
Shotgun here for Leinart. Motion from Ortiz. They got a passing formation in. And they will indeed pass off the bat. Curl route thrown to Osmus. Well defended there.
That was great coverage there from the St. Paul defender. Just locked on to Bo Osmus. As soon as Colline turned to his right, he knew that he was aiming for Bo Osmus. So that was great coverage there from St. Paul.
Jordan Lago, laser focused there. Immediately read the curl, got downhill, and broke up that play. That'll bring up second down, but we already seen Coach Keith Ellison willing to throw the football, and Leinart delivered that one, it looked like on time and in the right spot. So let's see if the Seahawks are willing to throw the ball this game. On second down, the handoff goes, but bottled up is Christian Zeno. That brings up third and long off the bat.
Yeah,
Not the start the Seahawks wanted.
That was a good play there by the Swordsman, smelling the run game. Now a very difficult situation. Third down. See what Redondo will do on this play.
Once again, St. Paul with the 4-3 defense, except that we got the linebackers blitzing as soon as they immediately read the play. So once again, we see here 4-3 once again. Watch out for the two high safeties.
Passing for Leinart. Leinart steps up in the pocket and he'll run. Breaks a tackle, a spin move, and he's still on his feet. Leinart's getting moving. He slides down at midfield. What a play, Cole Leinart.
And that's what makes Cole Leinart a good quarterback. So we take a look at the replay of that last run. Knows what to do when it comes to pressure. He doesn't see anybody downfield. He just takes off running. At the end of the play, you see how tightly he holds on to that ball.
Excellent play by Cole Leinart. We mentioned at the beginning of the game, as Edwards said, that he can run if necessary, and he showed what he could do right there. First down now for the Seahawks, and Zeno finds a hole. Lowering the shoulder, he's got 10 on the carry. Might be enough for a new set of downs.
And that's one disadvantage for the Swordsmen when you have a big play and then you have the running game opening up, you wonder who's going to run or who's going to pass, and you saw Zeno on a good run on first down.
Yeah, Swordsman look all out of sorts here.
Back-to-back plays for Redondo Union, of course. What I previously said, Christian Zio, great pass blocking from the O-line. Let's see what they got here in this first down.
Leinart hands the ball once more to Zeno. Zeno trying to slip through a hole. This time he doesn't have the same success he found on that last run. 2nd and 9 here. Good patience by Zeno, but it just didn't open up for him. With 10 minutes here in the first quarter, Seahawks building a drive for themselves around the 40 right now. Offensive.
Yeah, right now for St. Paul, right 4-3 once again, but you see those two linebackers are sort of spread out, the left and the right, and you got the middle linebacker. He's making a decision. Should I rush or should I cover? Like
this time we have a 4-man rush, and Leinart slings it down the outside. High for his receiver, but I think he's fine with that. Well covered was Bakara Lindstrom right there. Now bring up 3rd and long once again.
It looks like that last pass by Leinart was a little overthrown on the left side. Could be a little bit of that pressure by the Swordsman defense, and looks like on 3rd down, expect them to try to bring some pressure in to try to get the Leinart.
We're seeing Osmus and Harper on the bottom of your screen. Those guys have blazing speed, and let's see if that will be a factor here. They're giving him plenty of cushion. Osmus in motion now. Looks like a passing down for Leinart, and instead he'll hand it off. Zeno lowering the shoulder, but he will not get enough. Brings up 4th and long, and you gotta wonder, 4-down territory? I believe so.
Well, it's a playoff game. It's a quarterfinal matchup. The semifinals on the line. You have to do what you need to do to get into the end zone, and Leinart is staying on the field, as you mentioned. Let's see what they'll call on this 4th down.
Yeah, I don't hate the run call because they're trying to make it 4th and manageable rather than trying to get it in one chunk. Unfortunately, it doesn't go that way for the Seahawks, and they will still have a 4th and long situation. So far, they've been 0 for 2 on the curl route, so maybe they might try a crossing route. Instead, watch Osmus in the slot.
St. Paul replacing 2 defensive linemen with 2 linebackers. Looks like they're going to go zone here.
Leinart under pressure. He's got it to Zeno, but Zeno doesn't have much room, and that will not be enough. So that's a turnover on down for the Seahawks.
It's 4th down. It doesn't matter what you have to do. You have to get rid of the ball, and that's what Liner did. Unfortunately, as we see the replay here, didn't get enough. But again, 4th down, you have to do something.
And of course, Redondo Union, they've been going spread offense throughout their first drive. So really, St. Paul slowly realizing that the Carolina might be in a shotgun for a while here in this game.
Let's see Castaneda and crew now for St. Paul. Our first look at their offense.
Last week they relied on the running game in their playoff win. Let's see if they'll be doing that here again tonight with this weather conditions on the field.
From the I formation, they got a shift in formation. Now it's offset. Some motion there. They'll go play action off the bat. He's looking deep for his guy, but well covered. Castaneda's going to run for this. He'll be forced out of bounds after a solid pickup. Looks like about 6 on the carry.
Yeah, that was a great read from the quarterback Castaneda. Play action, simple play action, but he wanted to throw it to his open receivers. But of course, Redondo Union with such great pass coverage, and that was a smart decision to run out of bounds for Castaneda.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Raining even harder now. Let's see if they will go to the ground on 2nd and medium. Flags, since the play was blown dead, it appears there was a false start on the offense, and indeed there was. That'll push them back and penalize them back to 2nd and long.
Yeah, like somebody moved early, didn't know what the call was, so now instead of 2nd down and short, now it's about 2nd down and 10, back to the original line of scrimmage.
It looks like St. Paul, with all their linemen and the tight end being so bunched up together in that line of scrimmage, seems to be that they might be running a smash mouth. First 2 plays. But now we got 2 wide receivers in the bottom of your screen. They might go something different.
Looks like single coverage here from the Seahawks, trying to sell out to stop the run on 2nd and long. And a fumble off the snap. There's a dog pile, and it appears that St. Paul got underneath it, and they did. That's what the rain will do for you.
Yeah, you're correct about that. We mentioned about the rain conditions on the field. The weather currently at 62 degrees as we have a penalty marker against the Swordsman.
Yeah, not looking too good
Yeah,
for
it looks
St.
like
Paul.
they had an illegal shift, and so they'll be pushed back once more. But we're going to take a look at that last play. A lot of it's going to be the conditions, but a lot of it's also nerves. This is likely the biggest game that any of these guys have played in their lives. So right now, little nerves, going a little early. That's why we're seeing some of these penalties. That is playoff football. You got to fight through that, and I'm sure both teams will as the game progresses. But for now, a little sloppy on the side of the Swordsman, and it's 2nd and 15.
They're going smash mouth here.
Here's that formation as we talked about.
On the shotgun now, they'll just run it with Castaneda, but he is bottled up. Looked like Esparza was the first one to get him, but he was certainly not the last. Herrera in on that tackle as well.
Yeah, you see Castaneda on the run. You see Bo Osmond is the first player to hit him, and then everyone else comes and finishes the job. So good play there by the defense, smelling that running play.
And that was a great read by Bo Osmond, signaling both the linebackers and the D-line to sudden shift, and he knew that Castaneda was going to run. So that was a great read there from Bo Osmond.
Yeah, as we saw that replay.
Looks like they're going to go with a pass here.
Castaneda, screen pass to number 14. Flag thrown there. Looked like a hold on that play. As it stands, that's Aiden Tofa. But Tofa does not have enough unless this flag is on Team Red. So let's see if the Seahawks shoot themselves in the foot.
We'll see. It was thrown right after the play was made, and you see holding on the Swordsman. Again, they continue to hurt themselves.
Julius, would you accept this penalty right here? Would you take 4th and long, or would you push them back to 3rd and even longer?
Well, if I was St. Paul, I'll have to go decline it and go for it. But it seems to be that they're going back, so
that makes sense. And if St. Paul were to have gone for it, then that means it was a good choice for Redondo to push St. Paul back. 3rd and 20 now we're seeing.
And the Seahawks right now, they're playing phenomenally on defense.
You know the old saying goes, if you want to get the first down, you're going to have to earn it the right way or the hard way. In this case, they're going to have to earn this one the hard way.
3 consecutive penalty calls called against St. Paul. Is not looking too good for the offense.
Yeah, you see 4 on the front end, on the front line there. Let's see, this might be a run or a play action or a screen as we saw last time.
Handoff down the middle, and he's got some room. He's going to go down to 4th and 2 off of a solid run, and now St. Paul has the opportunity to go for this as we take a look at that replay.
Yeah, you see the defense and not see that run, and good job there by the Swordsman on the blocking, leaving the holes open. Now, a very, very wild card situation here. 4th and 2, looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, we saw the design run for Castaneda earlier, and we might see that again as they look to keep the ball in one player's hands, keep it as simple as possible, and not fumble the ball. So, huge play right now. The Seahawks need a stop.
Yeah, you're the Seahawks. The last thing you want to do is jump. Expect a hard count here. All they got to do is just stay still.
That's a good point.
Seahawks going man-to-man. They're going to blitz.
Yep, we got that Wildcat formation. It's close, but it looks like they stopped him.
No
they
good.
did. Seahawks held him short. Oh, the referees are not sure about that.
Yeah, coming from up
Take a
here.
look. The referees called that a first down.
Wow.
From up here, it looks like he was stopped, but they're saying they
We're going to
got
look
it.
at a replay. Let's see what you guys think. I can tell you the home crowd in front of us is not happy about that.
They are not happy about that call from, like you said, from our end. Looks like he was short, but the referees, maybe they saw something that we didn't see.
Yeah, I mean, the first down marker was on the 45-yard line. There was an even white line for him to cross that the referees could see. Didn't look like to us that he did, but to the referees they said he did. So this drive continues for St. Paul, and the handoff down the middle, he's got some space. Eventually wrapped down by Bo Osmond, so he's inside the 40 now.
This is what they were doing last week in their playoff matchup, running the ball, and it looks like they're still trying to continue on that success with this last run. As you see the offense opening up the holes in the running game.
And once again, I formation, smash mouth. And of course, he's, like we said earlier, they're going to keep running and running the ball. And right now, they're slowly tiring out this Redondo Union defense.
Luata in at the halfback position from an I formation. Let's see if the give goes to him again. And he'll go to the fullback instead. Some power. And he breaks free. Slipped through the fingers of the Seahawks, and they're inside the red zone now.
Yeah, it was a great fake play there from St. Paul. They thought they were going to give it to the tailback, but no. Castaneda gave it to the halfback. And now they're really close to the end zone, and we might have potentially St. Paul might score on this run.
Yeah, that's a way to run a trick play without too many moving parts. Just a quick handoff right there. And right now, 1st and 10, looking for a hole, none there for Luata.
Yeah, it looks like the Seahawks are kind of confused on the running game because it looks like they're surprised by that last run by the fullback. One thing about the fullback, a quick handoff, and they just take off. And here again, they continue with the running game.
Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9.
Seahawks opting for a lighter package here.
Bo Osmond's guiding the defense right now.
Pitch goes out. Trying to get down the outside. A spin, and Esparza will hold him back.
That was a very heavy pitch route there for St. Paul. And of course, prior to that, we saw Redondo Union start scrambling a little bit. Bo Osmond instructing players where to go. And St. Paul, right now, just they're running, but their trickery has been tricking Redondo Union here in this drive.
So 3rd down and short now. And they'll hand it, or they'll just keep it. Again, doesn't look close there as Gabriel Castaneda dived forward. They call it a stop. So now 4th and short. Huge play here. Expect to see another handoff or run play. Question is it another quarterback keeper?
Well, with 4th and 1, you can call anything. You can do a quick pass, a screen, even a quarterback sneak. I expect I would say call a quarterback sneak in this situation. It's the perfect time to call that play.
Yeah, it is very close. So do not be surprised if you see a quarterback sneak.
Here come the blitz by Redondo.
Quarterback sneak indeed, and that will be enough for the first. So Castaneda picks it up, and now they have 1st and goal from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, Castaneda using his strength, and then the lineman pushing that defense ahead, getting that 1 yard what they need, and now they can go to work here. 1st and goal with less than a minute left in this fast-paced first quarter.
Yeah, 55 seconds left in the first quarter. Looking to finish off the systematic drive. Down the outside, he is held short, but second effort might be enough. They call him just shy. They say the knee was down just shy. He was getting pushed in by his own guys, though. Good power there by the Swordsman. That might do it for the quarter with 25 seconds left. It'll be 2nd and goal from the half-yard line. As we take another look at that replay, that was definitely close.
Yeah, watch the Seahawks defense using their strength to just stop the running back from going forward.
We might see another quarterback sneak here. Let's see if the Seahawks are ready for it this time. It's a motion, and we'll see it again, but a timeout is taken.
Whistles blow the play dead as the clock winds down to 0, brings us to the end.
Or not even a timeout. Quarter ended. So first quarter ended 0-0, but an inch away from the goal line is the St. Paul Swordsman.
Yeah, the Swordsman throughout this drive just kept running the ball, and there was a bit of a controversial call during the early play. If St. Paul got the 4th down conversion, referees confirmed it, and of course the home fans didn't like it, and since then they've just been running the ball, and now they're 1 yard away from scoring their first touchdown here in this game.
Yeah, that might be the key play of the drive is that 4th down. Again, from up here, it looked like he was short, but down there in the middle of the field, the officials say that they had enough for the first down. So that might be, again, the key play in this first drive.
At the 45-yard line? No, not that one, not that one. I was talking about the one where the Seahawks thought they killed the drive. Seahawks back looking to rally to stop this play. We got a sneak peek at what coach of the Swordsman had in store, and it looked like a quarterback sneak, so we might see that again. Seahawks got to sell out to stop that. See if the nose tackles can get it done for the Seahawks. Quarterback sneak. He might be in, and he is. Touchdown for the Swordsman.
There it is.
6-0 as first blood is drawn here in the CIF playoffs.
Touchdown St. Paul.
That's a smart play there from St. Paul. Went for a quarterback run as they're inches away from the end zone, and that was a great call there from the offense. And already St. Paul attacking first here in this game.
Yeah, St. Paul really just knows the Seahawks can't stop that. Multiple times it's happened, and none of the times could the Seahawks keep them out of the end zone. So if there's a short yardage situation as that kick goes through 7-0, if there's a short yardage situation, St. Paul knows they have their play. As we take another look at that touchdown, just pure power to get in on the QB keeper.
St. Paul 7, Redondo 0.
And that extra point straight through. So 7-0 right now is the score as the Seahawks look to strike back. They had a good first drive that fizzled out on a 4th down play. They have established that they can throw the ball as well as run the football. St. Paul is not, so the Seahawks might have some dimensions to their offense that could allow them to get a score back. The issue for them is that with such a heavy run game here in the rain, drives take a lot of time. They might not get the football back after this drive. $11:56 to go as this kick is off. It's short to one of the up men. Looks like it goes out of bounds. It does. Free kick out of bounds is a flag, and the Seahawks will get good field position.
Yeah, talk about a gimme there. Seahawks are going to have a good field position. Last time on their first possession, they got stopped on 4th down, so let's see if they were able to correct some of the errors and see what to do on this first play.
This will spot the ball at the Redondo 37, 1st and 10.
One receiver at the bottom of your screen. Other than that, one at the top as well. Other than that, the Seahawks showing heavy run formation here in the pistol. Zeno's the back. And indeed, he gets a carry. Trying to bounce it outside, but he is disrupted once more. That's a big loss on the carry. Loss of over 5 yards there.
Yeah, the Swordsman defense have all of a sudden picked up the smell of the running game. Again, the pressure, closing the hole real quick. Loss of yardage on 1st down.
And of course, once again, back-to-back, actually not back-to-back, consecutive plays in which Cole Liner has not been under center. Has been always in the pistol and the shotgun. So right now, St. Paul is just reading Redondo Union potentially like a book.
Yeah, right now they're rushing straight back, so Seahawks have to do a better job at misdirection, getting their run game time right there. Zeno had no options right there on that last play. Now Leinart on the pass. He'll go screen. This one's to Ortiz, and Ortiz has got some room. Ortiz is chopped down after a solid pickup there. Got about 10, and they're back to 3rd and manageable.
And yeah, just credit to Cole Liner, because as soon as he snapped the ball, already the 2 offensive linemen let 2 defenders from St. Paul get through, and luckily Cole found Ortiz, and Ortiz caught the ball successfully. Now we have a 3rd down.
5 yards to go for a first.
Look for pressure here for the Swordsmen as they line up.
Yeah, they're showing it. Now from the pistol, play action. Leinart looking intermediate. He's got Ortiz, and they pick it up. Good bootleg there from Leinart. Fake that underneath route with Osmus, and Osmus, who had a big game, was getting watched like a hawk by that St. Paul defense. So as you see on that replay, Ortiz is going to shake wide open.
Yeah, we've seen Cole Liner many time again. The rollout, that's what he does best, roll out and find somebody open, and found Ortiz. They move the chains, and the drive continues.
And of course, Bo Osmus, what we call a dummy. He played the dummy here in this drive. Everyone thought Bo Osmus was going to be the target, but everyone forgot Ortiz was wide open in the middle.
Now from the shotgun, looks like they got some motion here on the Seahawks. No, they got offsides on the defense. The Seahawks get 1st and 5. They get a little blessing here on this drive. They get 5 yards of cushion here. And now let's see, with a little extra space, what Coach Keith Ellison will cook up right now.
Well, it's 1st and 5, and it looks like the rain is starting to stop a little bit. Maybe be a perfect time to maybe throw one deep pass for the end zone.
And Brock Herrera has just entered the game.
He's a heavier tight end, usually used for run blocking situations, though he has caught a touchdown this season. Keep an eye, though there is cushion, 1-on-1 at the bottom, Jordan Lago on Tyler Harper. Harper is a deep threat always. They might look deep. Leinart stepping up in the pocket, he'll run. He's got a lead blocker, and he'll slide down after picking up the first, but there's a flag in the backfield. Looks like they'll have a hold, and they will.
Yeah, very unfortunate there by the Seahawks. They had a good run play, but unfortunately a holding call against, and that's going to back them 10 yards. But it was a good play there by Leinart.
9:25 here in the first half as the Seahawks, they build up 5 yards with the first penalty, but they get back 10 yards on the second penalty. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And now the Seahawks, 1st and 15, will look to make some plays.
It'll be 1st and 15 from the 44.
Harper's lining down at the bottom of our screen. Check out that one-on-one matchup. Look for him. Leinart might go to him here on 1st down.
Plenty of time for the Seahawks, and they will hand it off on the first play. No space at all for Zeno. That run game has just not had its legs since the first handoff to Zeno.
And you're absolutely right, Calvin. Every time they give the ball to Zeno, Zeno's met with 3-4 white jerseys in front of him. And really, right now, the pass game has been successful for Redondo Union, but the run game, not so much.
Yeah, and they're trying to build up the run game by running in obvious passing situations. But no matter what, even when the defense shouldn't suspect a run, they still get there. So right now, Seahawks need to do a better job at getting Zeno the ball in his hands with time. 2nd and about 20. Leinart in an obvious passing situation. Defense showing zone coverage. They got a spy on Leinart. Leinart will throw it away. 3rd and 20. Leinart had no play, made the safe play.
Yeah, you're correct about that, Calvin. When you're a quarterback situation like that, there's no one there. You just throw it away, live another day. You do not want to take a sack, especially when you're that deep behind on the to-go counts.
I was going to ask the next time Cole Leinart runs, how long until they decide to put a spy on him, but they didn't wait for me to ask that question. They already have a spy on Leinart. What that means is there's a guy on the defense designated waiting by the line of scrimmage to prevent Leinart from running on passing down situations. And so right there, Leinart didn't have the option to get down the outside and run the ball. So now he's going to have to rely on that arm.
St. Paul switching to a 3-5. Zone coverage here.
Back to pass is Leinart. Leinart with some time. He's going to run down the outside. Such a tackle, still on his feet. Fumbles the football out of bounds, but he brought it within 4th and 5. Interesting by St. Paul taking the foot off the gas, it looked like, as you take a look at that replay.
Yeah, I guess they figured that Cole Leinart must have stepped out of bounds somewhere, but he kept on going and got like an extra 10 yards. So now the good news is it's 4th and 3, so they can run anything here on this play.
Yeah, Seahawks from the jaws of defeat snatched a 4th down and manageable situation. Now let's see if we'll see Leinart from the air. Looked like some motion on the defense right there, but the refs did not decide it was enough to flag down. We'll see if Coach Ellison takes a timeout as the Seahawks look confused. They look like they didn't have much of a plan outside of that hard count, and they didn't. So a timeout, and the Seahawks will plot how to play this 4th and 4.
First timeout of the first half.
Before that timeout was called, Cole Leinart had some bit of a misunderstanding with one of the assistant coaches, the offensive coordinator. So that's why the timeout has been called.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to find out what to run, and it looks like the Seahawks decided to call timeout, play it safe. But very, very interesting situation here. And let me ask you this question, Calvin. What would you run here? Would you run like a quick pass or just straight up run down the middle?
I can tell you for sure I would not run down the middle. That has not worked for the Seahawks. No matter how many times they've tried to catch them by surprise and run the football, it has just led to defenders in the backfield before Zeno can even look up and see him. So what the Seahawks have to do right now is use speed that they have to make a safe play. Usually you think of speed and you think of that deep ball, but instead Seahawks need to run a crossing route, get away from defenders as we might see some pressure and some man coverage. But zone coverage instead right now being shown. Going deep for Osmus. Pass is defended by number 14. Good defense there.
Yeah, it looks like Cole Liner was trying to go for the deep ball, and it looked like from here it was going to be a short pass, but he decided to go deep for a ball, but unfortunately not able to make the catch.
Yeah, Taffa just lurking there. He got underneath the ball, and he got up there to swat it away. Looked like Leinart might have had Adrian Ortiz on the intermediate route, but he doesn't end up finding him.
And Redondo Union, they're now 0-2 in fourth down conversions here in this game.
Yeah, very surprising that Cole Liner didn't run. It looked like he may have gotten enough, just barely, for a first down, and he kept it.
$7:30 to go here in this first half as we see the pitch down the outside. Seahawks trying to meet him, but a cutback, and he gets about 4 on the carry, maybe 3, as the Seahawks rally to the football.
Jordan Lauago, the ball carrier.
That was a great run there from play number 10, Lauago. Of course, we saw him as soon as he got the ball. He saw an open space, but as soon as he got to the middle, he was scrambling, but luckily he found a big enough opening. But of course, it's second down. There's 6 yards to go for an easy first.
Seahawks need to stop the run game. Obviously, it will prevent a touchdown being scored on them, but it also will prevent this Swordsman team from just running at the clock. They want to get their offensive ball back. So right now they're going to stack the box. Trying to get a jump on it, and the Seahawks clamp that inside run. Third down forced because of an excellent effort by that Seahawks front 5.
Yeah, that quick jump really helped Redondo there because they created a little bit of a distraction there and a little ruckus, and now they were able to get a stop. So a very big third down here for both teams.
And how many times have you seen Esparza, a captain on this defense, get that perfect jump when he is a linebacker assigned to rushing on the play? Perfect jump again right there. He's incredible at that. Flag is thrown. Let's see if they got the defense or the offense. They got the offense, and so that will bring up 3rd and long here. Looks like 3rd and 11 on the play.
Yeah, we saw movement from both sides. It looks like the referee noticed that St. Paul moved first, so Redondo Union with an advantage here in this third down.
Yeah, and you mentioned movement on both sides, but I think the movement on the Redondo side was Esparza timing it perfectly, and it was so perfect that it almost looked early when there was some confusion on the play. But nonetheless, we got a 3rd and long situation here, and let's see if we see a pass. Swordsman haven't really gone to the passing game so far, and they'll toss it to the outside again. No room for him. He's swarmed for a big loss. 4th and long. We're going to see a punt.
Yeah, that's correct, Calvin. The defense closed up the gaps, and the runner had nowhere to go.
Number 3, Lincoln Esparza with the initial hit.
And once again, Lincoln Esparza got his number called, and he made the play.
Back to receive this punt is Christian Zeno. He hasn't had the opportunity to have the ball in his hands with much room, so let's see what he'll do with this first opportunity. 5 minutes and rolling here on this clock of the first half. The Seahawks looking to get one more good drive in, see if they can even the score. Punt is fumbled. He's down. Seahawks are in prime time position. The rain leaves its mark on the game once more, and the Seahawks have a golden opportunity.
Yeah, it was a big mistake there by the Swordsman. As we take another look again, the handling of the ball led to all that, and the Seahawks, a very opportunity for them to get something going with good field position.
And what a great tackle by Lincoln Esparza. He was the first and only player, as the replay is shown right now. Lincoln Esparza with that quick reaction, with that beautiful tackle. Lincoln Esparza.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, who was on that ball first? That was Lincoln Esparza making sure that that play got down. And now in golden territory, Osmus is the back. Watch for that explosiveness that you've come to see from number 7. The handoff does go to Osmus, but he has no room. Right now, the Seahawks offensive line has no answer for this interior pressure from St. Paul. Brings up a potential passing situation on 2nd and 15.
Yeah, that St. Paul defense continues to put a dagger in that running game. If the Seahawks have to go to a one-dimensional offense, it might lead to trouble for them later on. They have to get this running game somehow point going.
Yeah, right now, it's the offensive line hasn't had an answer for the defensive tackles. Credit to St. Paul's coaching staff on getting pressure through consistently. But now, a pitch down the outside to Osmus. Osmus has got some space. Osmus is in for a touchdown. Seahawks even it up here in this first half.
We saw this play last week in Torrance. Bo Osmus coming down and getting that handoff, and just look how he's able to read where to go, and he just takes it into the house. No questions asked.
And of course for St. Paul, they were going zone coverage, but as soon as the split second that ball was snapped, they all of a sudden changed to a man-to-man, which they blitzed, and that was a great play there for Redondo. And Bo Osmus, what a player he is.
Yeah, they used, as you mentioned earlier, they used Zeno as the dummy there and faked it out like that as Blevins puts the kick through the uprights despite a mishandled snap. Excellent work by the kicker. But yeah, they used Zeno as a distraction, and they got Osmus space, and all Bo Osmus needs is a little space, a little room to accelerate, and he's into the red grass. 7-7 right now with 3:50 to go here in this first half.
You have to credit that fourth down play by that Seahawks defense that led to the good field position. Just a couple of plays, they used Bo as their leading scorer from last season. Again, dominating here in the second half of the season. He shows why, gets his team back in it, and now we have a tie, 7-7 game.
I love that play call from Coach Keith Ellison. It's still technically a run play, but it was a creative run play that instead of leading to defenders in the backfield, led to open space. And that was an excellent way to get his playmakers the ball in their hands.
Of course, you do have to credit the coaching staff. That was a great play, and it was the right time to call that play.
Now the ball will be kicked off. It'll take a bounce and head into the end zone. Touchback, and now we'll see from this from this offense if we will see some passing plays. We really have not seen much in terms of the passing game, but with time not on their side, they're used to running out the clock with long drives on the ground. They don't quite have that option with the amount of time that they are working with. And so instead, Gabriel Castaneda will look to make some plays. Let's see if we'll start with the run, however. 1st and 10. Some motion, and he will hand it off. Down the middle. Some room there. Tackle eventually from Westbrook.
Up to number 19, Jace Lavario.
That was Jace Lavario, though, with a big pickup on that play. And they are on the right side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Lavario somehow is able to find a hole through that defense. As we take another look, he just goes right through them up the middle. And how many Seahawks does it take to just take him down?
Yeah, he's got some good speed, so no Seahawks got a clear shot on him until Westbrook got him all the way back there. But they're close to crossing midfield here. In the I formation. They'll hand the ball off to the fullback once more before he is stopped after a gain of 2 to be generous.
And that was something that the defense needed right there, gentlemen. After a big play, stop them on 1st down, try to get that confidence going. Let's see what they're able to do. And again, Lincoln Esparza making up the plays for the defense.
And of course, consecutive plays in which they were running smash mouth. And once again, looks like they're running the I formation once again.
2:40 on the clock here. They might have to go to the passing game soon. Let's see if we see a play action. No, they will hand it off once more, and that'll bring up 3rd and long. So not to get ahead of myself, but 2:20 to go here in the half. Do we see another Seahawks drive? We see a quick stop?
Well, back-to-back stops there by the Seahawks defense. And it looks like it'll be an interesting call to call here on 3rd down. We've seen nothing but runs so far by the Swordsman offense in the first half. Maybe an opportunity for them to try to pass it here.
I expect to see another run right here. Because they might see this as 4-down territory where if they get the run to within 2 or 3 yards, they'll just go for it and run the ball again. From the shotgun, however, let's see if Castaneda will make a play. He'll pass and pressure on him, but the screen pass is completed. Looks like he's just shy, 4th and 1. But they have a play in their back pocket to try to convert. As we take a look at that replay, look how quick the pressure got on him, but the screen pass got through all the same.
Yeah, again, Lincoln Esparza calling his number again. Almost got at the quarterback. And Castaneda at the last minute was able to get that pass out before that gets recorded as a sack.
Buck 20 to go, and I expect to see a QB sneak right here.
The Seahawks are now packing the O-line. They're going to blitz here.
They will hand it off instead. Looks to be enough. The clock will keep rolling. 105 and a late hit by one of the St. Paul players on Esparza with no flag.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Calvin. That should have been a penalty because that was like way after the play.
That definitely did not look like a sportsman-like play, but nonetheless, a timeout will be taken by St. Paul. I believe it is their first of the first half. So with exactly a minute to go, St. Paul will look to gain 40 yards as they look to get into the end zone.
If you're
take another look at that replay.
Yeah, we take a look at that running play there. I was going to say that if you're the swordsman, the best thing you can do is hold on to this ball and not because Redondo will try to do something to create a turnover with a minute left. Keep in mind, the Seahawks got the ball first, so the swordsman will have the ball to start the third quarter.
Seahawks are once again packing. Sudden movement. Four on the left, Cobbin. Gotta watch out for those.
Yeah, they got an outnumbered attack on that left side. They'll throw the screen out that way. Completed, but not much room. And an open field tackle is made there by the Seahawks. Out of bounds, it looked like the receiver got.
And we finally saw a passing play on first down, but unfortunately nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, we still haven't seen them try to stretch the field, only screen passes. That one was no exception to Taufa, who now has 2 receptions. They have yet to get their leading receiver, Gavin Lannon, involved, number 11. He's on the bottom of your screen. Let's see if they'll go to him this time. 2nd and long as the clock was stopped from the play going out of bounds. And a timeout taken, looks like by the Seahawks. Seahawks will be charged for their first timeout of the half. Or second timeout of the half. So 2nd and 11 right now. Let's see if Coach Keith Ellison has something up his sleeve. If he's choosing to craft a play, we might see a blitz. You know that Esparza's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's been back-to-back plays in which the Seahawks were crowding that line of scrimmage with 5-6 players, and it worked well for the Seahawks now. But like you said, with 50 seconds left here in the clock, I mean, the best thing St. Paul can do is just go for it by passing. They only passed once here in this game.
Well, if you're the Seahawks, the best thing you need to do is to hold this offense, go into the half, tie 7-7, and let's see what they'll do here on this next play.
From the shotgun, they'll hand the ball off. Looking for some room is number 19. That was Chase Lavardo looking for some room, but nothing there, and that will bring up 3rd down. 35 seconds, and a timeout is charged to the Swordsman. They look to stop the clock, and we might see them have to push the ball now.
Well, with 36 seconds left, your best option now at this time is to try to go for the end zone or get a couple plays to get close to continue that running game. So very, very interesting scenario here for St. Paul, whether they'll try to pass or just continue with that run game.
Yeah, we're likely to see Castaneda try to stretch the ball here. He has had a solid regular season with a 91 quarterback rating. Let's see if they will turn to their veteran quarterback to make a play.
And if you're the Seahawks, your best bet to do is to not allow the big run play. It's okay to give a couple yards, though, but avoid giving up more than 10 yards for the remainder of this half.
Has to be some of the technical difficulties, and oh, never mind. 40 seconds on the clock now.
They were trying to switch the amount of time left to give the Swordsman some more time. So now we got 40 seconds on the clock. And on third down right now, let's see if we'll see a ground attack or an aerial attack. Some motion, and we'll see a pass. Castaneda swings it out. Jace Lavardo out of bounds. Looks like he barely made a gain, if any, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Well, it looked like that pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage, though. But again, good call there for the pass. It gets a little bit of a yard gain, and now very easy 4th and 2 here.
Yeah, 4th and 5 here. They got a decision to make. It appears that they will go for it on the grounds that Seahawks are likely to kneel it if the Seahawks get it back. And so we are seeing Castaneda stay in the game. We might see another run play because they have one more timeout to stop the clock.
Seahawks once again crowding the line of scrimmage.
Back to pass is Castaneda. Another screen pass. Somerville trying to get back, and that one will be short. Seahawks get the stop this time, making sure there is no controversy, unlike the last one that was held against them. The Seahawks confirm, and they get their offense the ball back. Edward, if you are Coach Keith Ellison, do you kneel the ball or do you give Coliner a shot?
Well, with 23 seconds left and where the ball's at, you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 shots, maybe give him 1 shot, and if he doesn't make it, and it's okay to go into the half with a tie game to make some arrangements for the second half.
The coaching staff is talking to the players for a while, which makes it unlikely that they're going to victory formation to kneel it into half. And so I expect to see Cole Leinart get a chance to air it out. They still have a timeout, so they have the field available to them. Indeed, we're seeing...
Yeah, they're going for it, looks like.
Zone coverage by St. Paul.
They'll hand this one off. I think what they wanted to do is get that run game some confidence headed into half. And it doesn't appear they'll call a timeout, so that will do it for the first half. 10 seconds left in the first half, and now there's zeros. Seahawks are tied with the Swordsman 7-7 here in the first half of the CIF D5 playoffs in the second round. Win or go home, and right now both teams playing like their season's on the line because they know it is. Julius, what have you liked out of the Seahawks so far?
Definitely not shockingly, but phenomenally their defense. And of course, especially Lincoln Esparza, who earlier in this game stopped that punt from happening. The punter committed butterfingers and lost that ball. And Lincoln Esparza was that first player to rush out and tackle him on that spot. That's giving Redondo Union a chance to score a touchdown. So really, their defense has been phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, Esparza has been a playmaker, and once they started being able to combat that run, everything began to come easily for the Seahawks. Expect to see them stack the box more here in the second half because they are going to try to force Castaneda to throw the ball, even in situations where they need to move the ball downfield. The Swordsmen refuse to throw the ball far downfield, and so the Seahawks will look to continue stopping that run by blitzing a lot with those linebackers and having heavy sets in. What do you need to see differently from the offense, Edward?
Well, for Redondo Union, one thing is for sure, they have to get that running game going. It got out to a good start in the first quarter, but since then, they've had more yard loss than gainage when they're running the ball. We did see a little bit on that last play, but I expect for Redondo to try to continue to run the ball, because in this case, this is most likely a chess match. Whoever runs the ball better will probably end up winning this game.
So, tied game right now about 15 minutes, a little under 15 minutes until the second half action starts. Don't go away because the action is all here on Redondo Sports. Absolutely thrilled to bring you playoff football action. Stay tuned.
Lawman is putting an end to my running, and I'm so far from my home. Oh, mama, I can hear you a-crying. You're so scared and all alone. Hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I don't have very long. Never more
back to Redondo Sports, where we have an incredible matchup on hand. Seahawks and the Swordsman are tied 7-7 right now, and if you don't know, the rain is playing a huge factor in this game. It has caused a lot of substitutions from the Seahawks to stay fresh, and we made a substitution of our own because of the weather. Making his CIF playoff commentating debut is Matthew Crawford.
Hey, Coven. Yeah, I'm just happy to be given the opportunity here, and wishing the best to Julius. He is fine. He's just a little chillied up and cold from the conditions, which is completely understandable. And yeah, can't really get into this.
Yeah, I mean, it really shows what these athletes are being put through, and right now they are working right now. It's been an incredible game so far. Really a tale of defenses. What can you tell me about that, Edward?
Well, Common, for starters, both defenses have stepped up their game in the first half. We thought we were going to see a big running game by both teams, but unfortunately, the big running games we've seen was from the opposing team, the Swordsman. We saw how they were running the ball in the first half. Redondo has to do a better job to stop or close the holes really quick on first and second down. They have to contain that running game, and they want to keep this game close. Because keep in mind, just one big play, it could turn it around, and it could be on the advantage of the Swordsman.
Yeah, but you mentioned getting rid of that run play. The Swordsmen haven't really done anything in terms of passing the ball deep. So if the Seahawks get a big tackle for loss or in early downs, the Swordsmen can't recover with big passes. And the Seahawks just have to full commit to the run. And once they set them back, disrupt the motion of this team, then the Seahawks will be able to get stops, get takeaways. And right now, their offense, I know they can make plays. Leinart just getting in rhythm, a few missed plays, but when he's been at his best, he's been able to get out of the pocket, he's been able to use his legs and be able to find the open guy.
Cole Leinart has done a good job. As we saw how he throws the ball, rolls to his right. Expect for him to do that the same way here in the second half.
All things considered, it's been a pretty good game from Leinart. He's been relatively accurate, keep hitting his receivers in the chest, and you can't really ask much for him in these tricky conditions.
Yeah, there is about 45 seconds left until we get back to second half action, where it will not be Leinart getting the ball first. It will be this Swordsman offense who will receive, and Gabriel Castaneda for the Swordsman has been the quarterback, and his game has really been defined by QB keepers and QB sneaks.
Well, he didn't really throw the ball much last week in their playoff victory, but now what we've seen so far, he's been very cautious with the ball. He throws the ball when he needs to, but he has a lot of confidence in that run game that he doesn't even have to do anything. Last week he threw for about 50 yards. So far, he's thrown less than that here tonight.
So we are about set to get underway with the second half. Thanks to the production team, to everyone who makes this happen, and we are excited to just watch pure playoff high school football.
And Matthew, how does it feel to be with us as far as being on the side with the rain in the first half?
Honestly, cold. I am starting to regret my choices, but it's too late now. I'm excited for some Seahawks football. Let's get into it.
Yeah, he was right next to me, and he was very silent, just focusing on the game in the first half. He's ready for the second half.
Yeah, and the Seahawks are ready too. Kick will get this underway from Blevins. 12 to go here in the third quarter, and we are back in the first half. Back in the second half. Away we go here as Blevins boots it. That one will be a touchback as it is left by the St. Paul Swordsmen.
Well, something interesting about the Swordsmen. They started off the season 0-6, and a lot of their losses were blowout losses, but in the second half of the season, they won a 3-game win streak to make the playoffs, and they won last week, so they won 4 games in a row.
Yeah, that's actually similar to what we've seen out of the Seahawks. Starting slow, but slowly picking up momentum, finding chemistry, getting a good cohesive team unit out there, and getting on a hot streak at the right time.
So, off the bat, we see an I formation. Heavy signs pointing to run. And the Seahawks stacking the box. Looks like we got one-on-one coverage right now. And just a heavy rush. Handoff does go down the inside, and the Seahawks bottle it up instantly. Second and long after the Seahawks snuff it out.
Yeah, you got to credit Brock Herrera there. He came out the scrimmage line very fast. made the tackle, and that's what Redondo needed to do on this first play. Get a tackle for a loss, and that's what they did.
Yeah, he's a playmaker on the Seahawks defense, leads them in tackles, and that's a big play.
Yeah, it's that interior stuff that's been so great for the Seahawks today. Stopping that inside run and forcing the Swordsman to go to the outside, which has been partially successful, but we'll see how they manage that in the game plan for the second half.
Another bunched up formation here. A lot of guys on the inside. That will be a pitch now. Making some moves, but overall he will get back just to the original line of scrimmage, bringing up 3rd and 10. Seahawks, even when their first guy misses, doing an excellent job, and that will lead to 3rd down.
And that was one of the things that gave the Swordsman an advantage in the first half. Those moves and those missed tackles led to big yard gain, and so far in 2 plays we've seen the running game kind of neutralized a little bit.
Brings up 3rd down, 9 yards to go for a first.
So 3rd and 9 now. We got to imagine that they'll at least think about passing it, but they've historically, so far this game, ran the ball on 3rd down. He will roll and try to pass down the outside. That one's completed. Down the outside, he might have enough for a first. It looks like he does.
Almost taking a page out of the Seahawks concept there with that motion passing play that the Seahawks always love to run with Cole Leinart. You got to admit, Aiden Taufa there with a catch. Great catch, great play call by the Swordsman.
And they ruled him short, so it's going to be 4th and 1, and it looks like we're going to see a punt here. Very surprised that the Swordsmen are not going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the success of their quarterback sneak, but they're deeming this just out of range. So Seahawks do have to watch for a fake, but they have Osmus out back, and a timeout is taken by the Seahawks. The Seahawks used their first of the half, as it looked like Osmus wasn't in full position, but I don't like that from the Seahawks because that gives the Swordsman time to reconsider and maybe go for it.
Yeah, you're correct about that, Calvin. That's giving them an opportunity to rethink their strategy. Don't be surprised if they bring their offense back out here. Who knows, maybe the 4th down punting situation may have forced Redondo to take a timeout. So very, very interesting coaching we've seen here on both sides for this 4th down. So again, very interesting timeout call, but again, very interesting to see the Swordsman try to punt.
Yeah,
when it's 4th and 1.
Sorry. Yeah, this is a game of chess right now between Coach Allison and the other coach for the Swordsman. It's going to be tough to see who can outwit the other and who can ultimately win in the strategy game, but we're going to have to see, as I believe that they are still going for this punt.
Yeah, Coach Mike Machete got an opportunity to look and kept with his decision. Watch Osmus. Osmus is not very deep at all. Not a lot of respect given to this punter. Let's see about this. Though it's a fake punt, and looks like he has enough. Number 14 on that, and that was an excellent fake. That was Aiden Toffa again, who got the opportunity off of a trick play, and so they pick it up on 4th down with a fake punt. Gutsy call.
And that's one of the disadvantages when you call a timeout. When you call a timeout, you allow them to rethink what to do. In this case, they went out with the punt, but they faked it, and they got the 1st down, and now we're seeing the Swordsman offense back out on the field.
Yeah, this could be a major momentum shift that the Swordsman will need in this game, which has so far been neck and neck.
Seahawks stacking the box once more, looking to put St. Paul behind schedule. And on the carry, he's bottled up. Seahawks doing an outstanding job defending that run play so far in this second half. Let's see if the Seahawks can keep it up. But right now, they are coming out of halftime doing everything they need to, except for maybe stopping a fake punt.
And that's what Redondo needed to do after that 4th down conversion. Continue to close that hole fast and stop the big runs. And here, again, Lincoln Esparza, we've seen him in the first half and continue here in the second half.
Yeah, Seahawks content to go one safety. It's Delatorre on the top. Because of that, they're bringing extra linebackers to stack the box. One-on-one coverage on the outside. That's Kyle Westbrook on the bottom of your screen. Number 1 for the Seahawks. And that pitch will go to that side. Osmus with an arm tackle there. And that will bring up a flag. Let's see if they got a hold on the defense. Or if they got a face mask on Osmus. Face mask on Osmus is an interesting call there, as he did spin the running back around. That'll be 15 yards forward. Let's take another look at that.
Yeah, no doubt that was a penalty there and a costly mistake there by the Seahawks. That's going to give the Swordsman an extra 15 yards into Redondo territory.
That 15 yards looks longer and longer every personal foul. That is a huge gain for the Swordsman.
Again, another mistakes made by the Seahawks, which you could argue they could have accounted for. First with that fake punt, not being fully prepared for it, and now with that face mask call on Osmus. It's these little things that may end up being a massive factor in the game. As so far, the Swordsmen haven't been able to drive properly, but now with this momentum, things might change.
Ball handed off. Number 28 darts to the hole. That's Latua, who didn't find too much room, but solid pickup on first down.
It's this ground game that's been a key factor so far throughout. And I got to believe that if this continues and this ground game continues for the Swordsman, you got to imagine eventually they're going to be able to get that one to break away. That one final safety is going to miss his tackle, and they might have a big play coming up soon, I hate to say.
Yeah, on the other end of the spectrum, Seahawks need that one first tackle to connect, because if that happens, they can get this team behind schedule. Right there, it doesn't happen, and he bounces down the outside. Latua with the stiff arm, and he will bring up third and short.
Yeah, very almost a mistake there by the Swordsman, running into one of his own players there. That almost ended up in a disaster.
Yeah, you got to admit a great recovery there. As again, the speed of these Swordsman running backs has been a key factor for them, being able to elude this great Seahawks interior line, you got to say, and get to the outside where they've been pretty successful.
So 3rd and 3 right here. I would ask run or pass here, but we both know it's going to be a run.
I think we all know it's going to be a run.
Handoff does indeed go, and he finds a hole. Looks like Latua again, and that will pick up the first down.
And again, looking for the hole, able to find it there. Almost a tackle for a loss, but he saw the hole open at the last minute. Another first down there.
This has to be frustrating for the Seahawks, since it's been run after run after run, and they've really had no consistent answer. Sure, they've had good stops on a couple of plays, but relatively, it's been a free 3 or 5 yards every single time for the Swordsman.
Seahawks need to go back to stopping that inside gap. As this will be a QB keeper here for Gabriel Castaneda. Continues with the methodical drive of just 3-4 yard pickups and just rinse and repeat.
And he had about 20 yards rushing last week. Not much of him running the ball here, except for those quarterbacks. And he did have a quarterback sneak in earlier, so let's see what they're able to do with him on his next play.
Yeah,
Seahawks down on the field. Seems like Iglesias that's down on the field.
Thankfully, he seems to be walking on his own volition and making it to the sideline, which is great to see at this point.
And we mentioned that the field's slippery, wet. It has been raining since the start of kickoff. It's actually been raining all day, so that field conditions could be a little slippery there right now for these players.
Yeah, definitely not great conditions for things like ankle injuries. And so right now the Seahawks lose a key linebacker when they try to stack the box with size. So now on 2nd down, looking to pass. That pass is incomplete. He was looking for his leading receiver, Gavin Lannon, but Santi Delatorre over top with that safety coverage renders that play incomplete.
Castaneda trying to go for his top receiver. He's had a quiet game. Surprising, this is the first target intended for him tonight, but who knows, this may not be the last time they go for him again.
Yeah, that was the 5th passing play. So the Seahawks have really not had to make plays like that, but when they needed to, they were ready. It's good to see the Seahawks not get complacent like they did on that punt.
in most situations, I would assume 3rd and 8 is an obvious passing play here. But you got to admit, the Swordsmen have made it very unpredictable because I have no clue what they're about to do.
Timeout taken. It is from the Seahawks. The Seahawks have used 2 timeouts. 5:45 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Seahawks already burning 2 timeouts. That might come back to haunt them in clutch time, but they will make sure they're set for this 3rd down. I imagine they were not ready for a shotgun formation.
No, indeed they're not, but as you mentioned, it is risky for them to use their timeouts early in this 3rd quarter because you never know. This has been a very close contested football game, and it's going to stay this way from the way it looks like. You always want to have your timeouts in case 2 minutes to go, you need to do a drive, you have your time there to save, but very risky call here for the Seahawks calling their timeout this early.
Yeah, but in the defense of this decision to call that second timeout, this is a very crucial play. 3rd and 8, big 3rd down here on Seahawks territory. You got to imagine they want to defend this as heavily as possible, make sure they're ready for whatever the Swordsman can bring. So you imagine a timeout here allows the defense to get properly set, be prepared for any formation, and hopefully get a stop here.
And Matthew, you think this is 4 down territory?
Oh, for sure, especially in these conditions with kicking and punting being so rough, definitely 4 down territory.
All right, so huge play here. Flag thrown, and it looks to be incomplete. The refs might call that inbounds.
Waiting for the call now.
This might be a big call here.
A look at the replay. That was questionable to see whether he was inbounds. But they will call a false start on the offense nonetheless. Or illegal shift, excuse me. And so St. Paul will be pushed back farther. Just whether or not that pass was complete.
That's about the 2nd time that the Swordsman has been called for an illegal shift in this game. So far, it looks like whoever shifted over forgets to line up set again and again. Another penalty on that, and that's going to bring up a difficult 3rd down for them.
So 3rd and 12. The Seahawks looking to defend this. St. Paul looking to put the pressure up by getting a score here. They went to the air on that last play. We might see that once more, and we will. Castaneda looking over Westbrook's shoulder. That one, that's complete.
What a catch there. Oh, my goodness.
Gavin Landon.
Yeah, Gavin Landon, great catch there. Right under Westbrook's nose. Westbrook was too focused on trying to stop it from getting ahead of him that when the ball went right ahead of Westbrook, he wasn't ready for it, and that's a 1st down for the Swordsman.
He showed up in a big way. He's their leading receiver, but you wouldn't know it watching the first half. However, in the second half, he comes up with a huge play, and they convert on 3rd and long, and now they're knocking on the door to go up a score on Redondo. From the I formation, they like to get back to this run game. Timeout taken by St. Paul.
Wow, I tell you, they're really using these timeouts as hot potato here.
Yeah, Redondo already using 2, and St. Paul using 1. 4:46 to go here in this 3rd quarter.
You got to imagine that the end of this game is going to be very interesting with both teams having to play with a minimal amount of timeouts. It's going to be interesting. Probably a lot less clock management and chewing the clock like we've been seeing for most of this game is what I'd assume.
You mentioned, we talked about this during halftime too. This has become a chess match. So right now it's about who's going to become the leader with the best strategy here.
Who will be the first one to blunder, Edward? That's a great question. So far, there's been a few mistakes made by both sides, I'd say, but no one really has made that one big mistake or had that one incredible play, although you could argue that pass then by the Swordsman was pretty incredible. But so far, no huge momentum shift, but the Swordsmen are trying to change that with a touchdown right here.
Handoff down the middle. Went to the fullback, confusing some Seahawks, and they'll push forwards for a solid 1st down pickup. They are in complimentary position to go back to pounding this ball into the end zone on 2nd and 4. You see a Seahawk who was previously down, Lucian Iglesias back in the lineup. That's great to see for the Seahawks who desperately need that physicality on the inside.
Yeah, that's correct. They really need him back in there, gentlemen, because so far this defense is going backwards. They have to find a way to go forward here.
Yeah, you got to imagine that the Swordsmen are going to stick to what they've been sticking to for most of this game. The philosophy of running the dang football. But as I say, they're in the shotgun.
down the outside. Castaneda looking to get in, and he's in for a touchdown from the Wildcat. Castaneda punches it in. 13-7 with 4 minutes in the third quarter. St. Paul back ahead.
Yeah, that design QB run there really threw out the Seahawks. They saw him in the drop back, which was, again, relatively rare for this game. Didn't know how to react, had to anticipate the pass there, and caught him off guard with that designed run to the outside.
Yeah, and again, good job by Castaneda following his blockers, as you see, not running fast, staying with them, able to find a hole, and they opened up for him in another 6 points.
Kick is blocked there. Seahawks get the block. So now a Seahawks touchdown likely will put them ahead. Huge play on special teams by the Seahawks, snatching some silver lining from an otherwise negative drive.
They had a extra point block last week at Torrance, and here they came up big time with a stop, so that 1 point might be a difference maker if Redondo scores later on in this game.
Yeah. As we take a look at the replay on that touchdown, the design quarterback run, where Castaneda was able to break through. Castaneda was able to find that opening. And on that extra point, the block from the Seahawks, as we see Seahawks just get around that outside. No space for the kick to go through. Excellent job by the Seahawks.
And Colin, this is a perfect opportunity for Redondo to take the lead if they get a touchdown. Keep in mind, they have not led in this game.
Yeah, and I can feel right now, the rain intensity is picking up. The conditions are only getting worse, which you got to imagine is going to make this next offensive drive for the Seahawks even more difficult. With their backs against the wall, they're going to have to come up with something here.
Little fumble there from Osmus, but Osmus eventually picks up the snap, and now he's got green grass. Osmus getting moving.
There he goes.
Putting the team on his back once more. Bo Osmus, punt return for a touchdown. Off the kickoff, he scores.
That's why Bo Osmus is one of the best athletes that Redondo has ever seen. He wasn't even able to get the ball properly. It rolled to his feet. He picked it up, ran around the whole entire Swordsman special teams unit, and was able to get that clutch touchdown. 13-13 with the extra point on the way.
And watch the replay here. Just watch. He fumbles it a little bit. He picks it up, but then he starts seeing his lane. He sees the blockers. He sees the hole open, and using his speed, he just takes off with the kicker. Not even a chance close to him. He has helped Redondo get back in this, and they could take the lead for the first time tonight here.
To take the lead. He's been automatic from the extra point all season. One of the biggest kicks that he's had to do all season, maybe in his life. Let's see Parker Blevins looking to take the lead. Blevins through the uprights, and the Seahawks are ahead. This home crowd is hyped. As we take a look at the replay, Osmus just doing it all himself. Going from inside to outside, pure acceleration. Seahawks have a get out of jail free card. They just put the ball in number 7's hands. And on the extra point, Seahawks tie it up. So an instant response, a clap back from the Seahawks, and they now are in control of this game. But the Swordsmen get the ball back. Matthew, what do you expect to see from the Swordsmen on this drive?
I mean, I'm probably just going to say more of the same. That's what's been working for them historically. You saw last drive, however, they did start with opening it up with that passing game, which has been working. But like I mentioned earlier, conditions are worsening, making passing for these quarterbacks even harder. So I've got to imagine more of this ground game, where most of the gains here are going to be made in the trenches, on the front lines, in the D-line.
Yeah, and just listen to this crowd. That play by Bull really rejuvenated this crowd that came out here to deal with this rain tonight. They are on top, and the spirits are lifted here at Seahawks Bowl with the Seahawks with a 1-point lead.
We got a football game on our hands, and now Blevins to boot that one away. That will go into the end zone for a touchback, and they'll start from the 20-yard line. Matthew, I like the word you use, in the trenches is where this game will be won, because this is a war. These are soldiers out there who are fighting for every inch, like trench warfare. And right now, the Seahawks will look to just inch by inch push the Swordsman back, get their offense the ball back, and try to expand on this lead. But the Swordsmen are just going to look to advance. They're going to look to dive forwards. If they can't get what they want, they'll just fall forward and take the 3-yard gain. 3-yard gains is how the Swordsmen have been getting their offense so far.
These are just the fundamentals of football here, folks. Some short runs. It might not be the most entertaining thing ever. As the Seahawks are even set. Handoff there by the Swordsman. He's cutting it to the outside.
Down the outside, as Matthew mentioned, and that will bring up second down. They will take that gain.
Luatua is the ball carrier.
Well, if you're the Swordsman, the best thing to do is continue with that running game. But if you're the Seahawks, your best thing to do right now is to attack more aggressively on defense, try to get some stops.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
So second and short now as the Swordsmen get a solid first down carry. They'll pitch the ball down the outside now, trying to get outside of Westbrook, and he eventually bounces it back there. Slips by Osmus, but a flag is down on the play. Let's see. Looked like number 56 for the Seahawks tackled someone outside of the play, so that might be on the defense for a personal foul. We also might have a hold. Appears we do have a hold. Hold on the defense. Seahawks get 10 yards back, pushing the St. Paul Swordsman back. And so Seahawks get a fortunate break on that one.
Yeah. 3 minutes here in this third quarter where the intensity and I would say overall speed of this game has picked up by about an exponential rate of about 1,000. This is insane football compared to the slow ground game that we were accustomed to in the first half. Now, there's been some passing. There's been an explosive kick return. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm excited.
Puts the ball at the 20-yard line.
Clock will start rolling again inside 3 minutes as the ball is placed to a position where it's 2nd and 10 now. From a pistol formation. Excuse me. Yeah, pistol formation now is Castaneda. He'll roll out and throw the ball. Incomplete. He was looking for number 18 and didn't find him.
Yeah, great coverage there by Osmus too. Kept him within an arm's reach. So if that ball was there, he would be able to get the swat there. And number 18, Enrique Zatsaran, a senior there for the Swordsman. Not able to reach out for that one.
He had Osmus in coverage, and what can't Osmus do? Osmus putting the team on his back like last week. Last week, he had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. This time, he has 2 touchdowns, and he's making plays on defense like that one, where he was in tight coverage on Zatarain. Dropping back to pass now. Going for Landon, and Landon is bottled up. Obvious punt situation now as they get the stop on 3rd down.
And they were going for that screenplay that they were successful a few times earlier, and the Seahawks again smelled it, denied them, and now they got to stop. Just as we mentioned before, they had to attack aggressively.
Like you mentioned, Coven, here comes that punt team. But remember, the Seahawks now need to watch for that fake punt.
Yeah, you can never be too careful.
Exactly, especially with the Swordsman proving on that last punt attempt that it still can be effective, even in conditions like this.
So the punt does get off, and it will be Zeno's to receive. Zeno gets it cleanly, and down the outside, he'll look to make a move. He goes down just inside the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it almost looked like he slipped on the turf there. That again is just showing us how bad these conditions are. This rain is getting deep into the turf, making it slippery, making hard cuts that Zeno is so used to making at the Seahawk Bowl. All of a sudden, almost like he's on a water slide as he just fell down there.
Yeah, I was going to say that if there's ever a situation where it's justified to be slipping and sliding, it's this game. This game is a do-or-die game, but it also has comical situations where the Seahawks and the Swordsmen alike have had to deal with the wetness on the field. But now Leinart is back. I want to say excellent job by Zeno to secure that punt cleanly. So easy to fumble here in the rain, but so far the Seahawks have not made many mistakes, other than one Leinart fumble that went out of bounds. Leinart from the I formation now. He'll go play action. Looking deep. Now he'll look to playmakers, guys. Getting a guy back, and it's incomplete. But Kara Lindstrom trying to come back on his route at the direction of Cole Leinart, but Leinart overthrew him.
Yeah, just almost a dangerous pass there. Cole Leinart going deep, as we haven't seen much tonight, but he went for it here on first down, and let's see what they'll call here on this next play.
Yeah, that pass there was just a little over the head of the receiver there, and you can't really blame Leinart. The play was already broken, even though it was an unexpected deep pass on a first down in this situation. The Swordsman defense was still able to account for it.
Yeah, excellent job by them. Yeah, to stay ready for that one is huge as the Seahawks now choose to run the ball. Zeno cannot make a guy miss, and they'll go down for 3rd and 8.
Got some yard gains
right now,
there.
Zeno just hasn't been able to adjust to the rain as well as he would like. Those plays we're used to seeing him make, beating a guy or at least carrying him for a few extra yards, he hasn't been able to get done. Let's see if that changes, as the Seahawks will likely go for more run plays as the game gets later. For now, we're a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they haven't been able to do the runs that he wanted to with the conditions of the field, so it's very challenging. But kudos to them for still staying with it. Going to be an interesting 3rd down call. Looks like they're going to go for a pass.
Yeah, lining up in the shotgun here. I mean, it is 3rd down, but historically for both teams, the shotgun hasn't been the most successful formation this game.
The snap is low. Looks like Leinart got back on top of it. It will be a punt, but excellent job by Leinart to dive on top of it. Ball security first, and the Seahawks will punt the ball away, looking to pin this offense for the Swordsman deep. As we take another look at that play, low snap, nothing Leinart could do. Excellent adjustment when he realized and getting on top of the football.
Yeah, the conditions of the field play a role in that snap, but the Seahawks has actually had an opportunity to get some points here. Now they're going to give this ball back to the Swordsman. We're going to go into this 4th quarter, gentlemen, a 1-score game.
Yeah, so the clock runs out on the 3rd quarter, so we have 12 minutes of football to go. 1 point and 2 powerhouse teams duking it out. Matthew, what pressure is on these two teams with a singular point separating them into the last quarter of one of their football seasons?
Oh, this is what a full year's of work leads up to. 1 quarter, 1 point, one more chance about for each team to make that one big play, make that one big run, make that tackle, and maybe even win this game with one giant momentum-shifting play.
I see Leinart in the huddle. I'm curious to see if the punt team is on. I thought for a second Coach Keith Ellison was going very bold, but they will play this more conservatively, and Robbie Christensen will attempt to pin this team deep.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a right call to go for it when you have a 1-point lead in a close game like this.
Yeah, I was curious if we'd see that quarterback punt that we had seen in the past, but nonetheless, Christensen will get the punt away. It's a high punt. It'll take a bounce out of bounds, and from the 30-yard line, the Swordsman will look to get a singular point. In the rain, you can't imagine the field goal range is too great, so we're likely seeing touchdown or bust on this drive, especially since we know how long Swordsman drives take. This could be it.
Yeah, that's correct. We've seen the Swordsman counter what the Seahawks have been trying to do tonight. As also, in this 4th quarter, expect more running game here from the Swordsmen. You don't see any passes from them. They're going to rely on the run game here.
Yeah, they still have 12 minutes on the clock to make something happen here. That is plenty of time to run out this clock. Make this drive as long as possible to not give the Seahawks offense enough time to answer, if that's what they need to do.
Still stacking the box, getting ready for that run play, but now we see down the outside comes Castaneda. He is hit at, looked like about the 33-yard line, so maybe a gain of 3 on the play. They'll give him about 4 on the carry.
The Seahawks got a good stop on defense last time. They may have to be relied on, called upon to get another stop here in this 4th quarter. 1 or 2 stops could help Redondo win this game.
So that's exactly the kinds of runs they look to create so that they can keep running the football. They like those types of runs. I imagine we'll see one right down the middle here, or maybe a pitch. Yeah, we do see the fullback run. That one's stuffed after about 3, but that brings up 3rd and short. And a flag after the play. Let's see what we got. Might be on the defense for a personal foul. Regardless, it'll be a big swing for 15 yards going one way or another.
Be a costly
Defense
mistake.
backing up.
Be a costly mistake if it's on Redondo.
It's looking that way, judging on the body language of the players backing that far up. They definitely seem guilty.
Yeah, that's what these horrible conditions are doing to the players. It's getting in their mental game, getting in their psyche, forcing them to just want this game to end, using all that pent-up aggression they have, and in this case, getting punished for it.
So Seahawks are pushed back because of that personal foul call. Definitely one Coach Ellison's not going to be too happy about. And so
15-yard penalty puts the ball at midfield.
the Swordsman, with 11 minutes to go in this game on 1st and 10 from exactly midfield. Let's see how they choose to approach this drive. They're in the shotgun right now, which they haven't been too often. Looks like a quarterback run again. Seahawks looking to collapse on that. Trying to get a lane, but that one is a loss of a gain of about 2, but a flag down late. And it looks like Mikey Ricardo's shaking up for the Seahawks. Holding on the offense, so Seahawks push them back 10 yards. We'll see 2nd and 20.
Like we've mentioned plenty of times on this broadcast, this is what the Swordsmen love to do. Get these short runs. They're not the most flashy plays ever, but they are effective for them. They're able to build and build and build on these 3, 4, 5-yard gains, and that's how they drive down the field. That's how they score.
So they pick up the flag.
Yeah, they're waving it off.
So
Officials wave off the penalty.
that will be 2nd and 8 instead. Decide not to call that hold. Imagine the refs want to go home in this rain and not stop the clock.
I can't blame them.
Oh, fumble off the snap. Looks like a lineman got there, but there's a dog pile. Oh, the Seahawks have it.
Get it.
Seahawks have it. Seahawks got there. That's Nathan Horta, the junior who got under it.
Number 22, the transfer from Bishop, making his first, I'd say, massive play as a Seahawk. That's a huge momentum shifting here. Now you can expect the Seahawks to just chew this clock. Make sure that this clock goes as low as possible, as they're going to try to suffocate this one and win it.
And again, the rain conditions really led to that, and we mentioned it before, the Seahawks defense had to make a stop or get a turnover. They got what they needed. Now they have the ball back with an opportunity to increase their lead here. 10 minutes and 28 left in this game.
There is no better time for the Seahawks run offense to come alive. Right now, the Seahawks need to chew clock, and they will do that on the ground. But they got to keep a sustained drive, so pass if need be. But expect to see the ball in Zeno's hands, and once Zeno is established, expect to see number 7 get it once more, because number 7 has been huge.
They're in the
right
Wildcat.
now, Wildcat.
I see Leinart at the bottom of your screen at receiver.
And Osmus will get the carry. Osmus making some moves, and he will dive forward for 5, but he drops the ball. Drops the football.
Number 7, Bo Osmus, the ball carrier.
Looked like he got it back, though.
Loose ball at the end of the play.
Oh, Bo Osmus scared me a little bit there.
The Seahawks were almost just punished for that little trickery there, but thankfully they were able to pick that one up.
Yeah, you mentioned Bo Osmus can do anything. He can run, he can pass. When he does that Wildcat, if you compare his height to Tim Tebow, they almost look the same height on that Wildcat run.
Keep in mind, Liner's still at the bottom of your screen. If we see a trick play, this will be bananas. We'll see Osmus once more on the keeper, though. This time he does not find room, and he'll go down, bringing up 3rd and 7.
Osmus again, the ball carrier.
Liner still at the bottom of your screen, the senior quarterback.
48.
Osmus might be a tiny bit banged up there as he grabbing his, I believe, right knee and moving a little gingerly right now, talking to one of the coaches.
Yeah, Osmus was out for the beginning of the season with a leg injury, so you never want to see that. Looks like he'll check back into the play for this critical 3rd down. Ford Progress has it as 3rd and 5, and the Seahawks are happy to see that. We'll go back to a regular formation here with Leinart under center, and I imagine we'll see a pass here. Keep your eye on the bottom of your screen. He's in quiet, but Tyler Harper can make a difference. Handoff. No, read option, and Leinart getting down. He'll slide after a pickup. Haven't seen that all game, or since the first quarter when he would scramble. That's Leinart with a huge play.
And what a perfect opportunity for Cole Leinart. Cole Leinart saw on his left side the running room on the replays. Watch him, he goes to his left, and he knows he's not going to get enough yards to run more. He's got the first down, and he slides. Big momentum shift there for the Seahawks.
Bad news for the Seahawks, though, as Leinart looks hobbled.
Yeah, like he's wobbling there. I think it's his left leg that's giving him problems.
Expect to see the Seahawks to hand the ball off on these next few plays because Leinart's body language does not look too good. Oh, they'll go back to that pitch to Osmus. Osmus down the inside, cutting in and getting about 5 before a flag is thrown in the backfield. Leinart discussing with his coaching staff right now.
And he again.
Let's see his right hamstring.
Yeah, he's hobbling right now. This is the last thing you want to see if you're a Seahawk fan. You do not want your quarterback on what could, if this doesn't go well, be his last game as a Seahawk, hobbling off at the end, injured. We need to see Leinart pick it up here and hopefully lead this team to victory once again.
SMU commit Cole Leinart has been stellar this game, specifically when he needed to on the ground, which is something we hadn't seen too much before this game in the season, but he's added just in time. But that penalty pushes him far back. It's 1st and 20 now.
If Cole Leinart is injured with his leg or hamstring, this might be a bad scenario for the Seahawks if they have to throw it. Again, the backup quarterback is Brady Groh, but he's not warming up, so Leinart's going to stay on there.
Yeah, he's a fighter, and let's see. They will likely need to go to the passing game. Let's see how he adjusts. Screen pass falls incomplete to Ortiz. Couldn't quite find Ortiz on the screen. So 2nd and 10 right now. Leinart will have to go back to the passing game. 7:40 in the 4th quarter. Seahawks looking to continue to chew clock.
Yeah, 2nd and 20 here. You got to imagine the Seahawks, they need a big play. Whether it be through a screen pass, which they just tried and failed, or maybe even just a big run here where they can get maybe 10, 15 yards, get this offense back on the right rhythm.
They effectively have 3 downs to get that here. I see this, if they can make progress on these next 2 downs, I see this as 4 down territory. So let's see what the Seahawks do here. They are showing the option to run it. It looked like Martinez in the backfield. They will hand it off. No, that's Zena. That's Zeno still on the handoff. That goes nowhere. 3rd and long still. Do the Seahawks play conservatively and continue handing the ball off, or do they throw the ball now?
Well, it's a tough call with 3rd down. Your best bet in a 1-point game, in a playoff game, trying to go to the semifinals, you're going to have to go for it here and pass it. And looks like
no gain on the play, leaves Redondo 3rd down. 20 yards to go for a
it's like there's play calling there between Leinart and Harper.
Yeah, and just
go for each other here.
And just as we thought conditions couldn't get any worse, I am feeling a huge draft of wind.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Coming from the east, as that's only going to make this next play call even more tricky for the Seahawks.
Hold on to that umbrella, Matthew. We got 6:50 to go here. We need that thing. But right now, the Seahawks are in shotgun formation. Harper looks to be at the bottom of your screen, potentially isolated against number 10. And Leinart rolling right. He'll run, he'll pass, just over Osmus, falls incomplete. 4th down, and the Seahawks will likely punt.
Bo had the right plan. He know what to do. He tried to time it right when he jumped up for it, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to grab the ball. So now we have a situation where they'll punt.
Inches away from what could have been the dagger on a conversion, but instead the Seahawks defense will have to come up big once again. I like the scenario for the Seahawks once more, though, because right now the Seahawks are trying to force the passing play, and if the runs don't work, as Christensen drops the ball and goes down at the 50-yard line. The rain finally staining the Seahawks' game as it affects Christensen, who dropped that punt right there. Good recovery by Christensen to get back on top of it, though. And from exactly midfield, the Swordsman have halfway to go to try to get a score. Down by 1 with 6:25 to go. They're going to chew clock and try to get a score, leaving the Seahawks with not much time.
Talk about a couple of bad scenarios by the Seahawks. First the penalty and then the miscatch by Bo, and then you have the muffled punt and the ball's right at midfield.
They are going to sell out to defend the run, but a pass might be shown here off the shotgun. Maybe a quarterback keeper as well. Yeah, we got a quarterback keeper here. Seahawks looking to swarm the ball. Mikey Ricardo coming up huge, getting to the quarterback in the back. Castaneda has nowhere to go.
The flock is coming alive in this crucial drive. As you see that big stop there by Ricardo, helping the Seahawks gain more momentum, which they just lost, again, after that unfortunately dropped punt.
Excellent job by the Seahawks there. They were ready for that. They know what is going on. Seahawks are really alert. They know what this St. Paul team wants to do by this point in the game, and at this point it's just will. Seahawks looking to will their way to another stop on 2nd and 13. Back to pass. Looking deep. Making a play on it is Westbrook. Westbrook coming up big, guarding Gavin Lannon. Looked dangerous for a second, but Westbrook on the second effort looks like he punched it out.
Yeah, Westbrook at the last second was able to get that ball away from the receiver. And I believe we have a replay. Just watch Westbrook concentrating on the football here.
Yeah, that's an incredible second effort there by Westbrook, even falling down. That's tight coverage right there.
And he did a good job by looking at the ball to avoid an interference call as well.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I call a big third down here. 3rd and 13 for the Swordsman.
And
it is 5:30 left. And
the Seahawks still showing pressure, which I like. Wynn picking up as well. Let's see if this is a passing play. This is a passing play. Castaneda down the middle. Oh! It bounces off a Seahawk and is completed to an unintended receiver. What a bad break for the Seahawks. Jordan Lago making a huge play. Do you believe it?
Talk about a lucky play and getting saved at the last second. I was about to celebrate a great pass breakup by multiple Seahawks defensive backs. I'm about to lose this umbrella.
I'm very speechless as well. Talk about being at the right place at the right time.
What an incredible, crazy play that happened right there.
That was almost, if you know your NFL history, similar to the Immaculate Reception, which I believe was in the 70s or 80s, which, again, saw something similar. Receiver dropping the ball, it going straight in the air into another receiver's hands. That is the last thing the Seahawks wanted. They played great defense there. Nothing more you could ask from them. But just, again, unlucky there with the wheels of fate, with this win, with these crazy conditions here in Redondo Beach.
And now they have an opportunity to take the lead because of that. Absolutely wild sequence of events. And now they can get back to their run game with 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Yeah, the keeper down the middle, and Castaneda will get about 5 on the carry.
There's that signature run game right back at it for the Swordsman. That 5-yard run that they love to use, chew the clock, give the Seahawks less time on offense, and get closer to the end zone.
And you look at the sound, it took the noise right out of the crowd here after that big play.
If this is a season-ending game for one of these teams, if that is what ends the season, that would be an absolutely ridiculous break. But as it stands right now, St. Paul looking to punch it in. Once more for Castaneda. Castaneda falling forwards. We might have enough for the first. Definitely close on that play.
Yeah, 4:20 here in the fourth. As let's see what they give him here on the spot. Apparently they mark him short. 3rd and 1 here.
Yeah, another generous marking. So 3rd down here. Remember, even if they don't get it on this play, they have that quarterback sneak in their back pocket that the Seahawks have no answer for. So with 4 minutes to go, they're just going to continue chewing clock. And they will continue on 3rd and 2. And the weather still got 15-mile-per-hour gusts. It's still raining. Still playing a big factor as this ground game becomes ever more important. Castaneda again, he drops the football. A sack nonetheless for the Seahawks, and the Seahawks say they have it. They do!
The Seahawks have it! The Seahawks have it!
Back!
How about that? We talked about earlier the play that saved the drive, and now the Seahawks get the ball back.
I had the producer in my ear telling me to talk about the rain, and right there, the rain makes another huge play. The rain's been the best player in this game, forcing yet another fumble. And right now, the Seahawks with 3:38 just have to kill clock. It's them versus the clock right now.
If you want to talk about karma or the odds in the universe being even, that's got to be it right there. That lucky, almost inconceivable catch that the Swordsman were able to get earlier on, absolutely being made up here for the Seahawks with that shocking fumble here caused by the rain, like you mentioned.
This is football, folks. Football is not a summer sport. It's often depicted in the sun, but this is true football. This is Warriors battling it out, and the Seahawks look to battle it out for 3 minutes, 38 more seconds to try to get it done up a singular point. Handoff goes to Zeno. Zeno gets upfield, and he'll get a solid pickup of about 6 on the carry, finally getting some positive yardage. Zeno is ready to go.
If you're Redondo and you're Coach Ellison, your best bet to tell your players right now, hold on to that football with 2 hands. You cannot let it get stripped off your hands, period.
As they say in soccer, the term here is park the bus. Don't try any heroics. Don't try to get maybe 50 yards here. Just make sure you don't fumble. Get those extra yards. As we have some movement on the line.
Seahawks with a hard count. Veteran move by Leinart, and that will give them the first down.
And the Seahawks have to be careful on offense with the way this win is going. They're going against the wind, so they're going to have to rely more on that run game if they want to close this game out.
3 minutes left here on the play clock as the rain is only pouring more and more. Conditions are not going to get any better anytime soon.
As we take another look at that fumble that got the Seahawks the ball back, that was just an incredible turn of events where when it seemed that the Seahawks were going to go down a score, they ended up getting the ball back and getting a chance to kill this game. Seahawks then continue bleeding clock, forcing St. Paul to use timeouts as Osmus down the middle, picks up another first, stays it in the inside, holds on to the football, is down at the 40-yard line. Big 15-yard pickup for Bo.
Big play there by Bo Osmus again, relying on his blockers as we see this run again. Watch him pay attention to where the hole is at, holding on to the ball tight, and another first down, and one more first down may seal this game for the Seahawks. And keep in mind, last season, their season ended in the second round. They want to go to the semifinals.
Seahawks flock voted the best in Southern California multiple years in a row, and despite the rain, they are buzzing right now, hyped as the Seahawks look to close this game out. 1:50 to go, trying to force out the timeouts. Handoff goes back to Osmus. Osmus down the middle once again. He'll pick up about 5 on the carry.
Osmus' name has been called countless times this game, and he's proving why. He is the true X factor. He is the one on the Seahawks who's made all the big plays. He had that end-around touchdown in the first half and that huge kickoff return touchdown in the second.
And a timeout is called by St. Paul. They're reeling right now. They need some stops right now. I believe if the Seahawks get a first down on the next play, then they will need one more first down to win the game. So Seahawks just have to kill clock right now. Keep it on the ground, progress to first downs.
They have one timeout left, so all they need is just one first down. So for the Swordsman, their season's on the line here. They're going to have to get a stop here because they only have one timeout left. One more first down, and it seals it for Redondo.
And you got to imagine, I hate to reiterate, but these conditions are just getting worse and worse for what you expect out of Southern California. It is freezing right now. My hands are shaking. The rain is pouring. The wind is absolutely right in the face of the Seahawks, but they don't care. They're unfazed. Bo Osmus is looking to, you got to assume, get this handoff and get another few yards to put his team a few more yards closer to this win and to the semifinals. Quarterback.
Handoff goes to Osmus. Osmus with the first, cutting down the middle. Osmus looking to put the dagger in the game, and the Seahawks are hyped.
And that run there, gentlemen, may have punched their ticket to the next round.
Timeout taken by St. Paul, so it is not game yet. St. Paul calculated it out where the Seahawks need to kill a little bit more time. But let's take another look at that. Osman's finding a hole like he always does, making a play for the Seahawks, and the Seahawks look closer and closer to escaping with a 1-point victory by the play.
And how about Bo? Ever since he's come back from injury, this Seahawks team has become more dangerous with him at the offense and defense, and he just proved right there why he is the heart of this football team.
Game management going excellently for the Seahawks.
Calvin, are you aware of how many timeouts that the Swordsman have right now?
Swordsman are out of timeouts. They just used their third and final timeout. So Seahawks chewing clock wins the game. If they get a first down and a new set of downs to continue killing the clock, it's over.
The only thing right now, if you're the Seahawks, Calvin, is hold on to that ball. You do not want to fumble it. They have to hold on to the ball tight for these next few plays.
The Seahawks showing victory formation. I believe this is it.
Yeah, they had a timeout.
This is it. Cole Leinart knocked down from victory formation as St. Paul doesn't want to accept that their team has lost. But nonetheless, the Seahawks have killed this football game. It is over.
You have to credit the Swordsmen. They came in here, they fought very hard, and kudos to them. Unfortunately, one season had to end, and it looks like the magical season of Redondo is going to continue to the next game.
See, Leinart signaling to his coaching staff that they need one more first down. Clock is running still. We're at 40 seconds. He's saying he can go victory formation. They go victory formation again. St. Paul's efforts, not enough, and that is the football game.
And how about Redondo? Last season, their season ended in the second round of the playoffs. Now, they're going to move on to the next round.
Coaching staffs for both sides on the field signify it's over. The Seahawks have advanced to the semifinals.
This war of attrition really could have gone either way. You got to give all the credit to the Swordsman in this one. But fortunately for us Redondo sports fans, it went the way of the Seahawks thanks to one man, Bo Osmus.
Yeah, give Bo the game. I got a game ball, and that's for him. He really turned it up. He had the winning touchdown with that kickoff return. And again, the last few runs by him sealed the game here for the Seahawks.
Seahawks finish it off. So the Seahawks, with a singular point, get it done. They will go on to face Loyola in the next round of Division 5 CIF playoffs. The Seahawks, the 16th seed, unlikely, throughout hard conditions, throughout adversity, giving up a touchdown, throughout the wind and rain and hard times. Seahawks get it done by a singular point. This is a team full of grit and full of determination, and this is a team that is headed on to the semifinals.
Calvin, you and me talked about this at the last game of the season where we were at South High School. We mentioned with the way this team is playing, this is one of the teams you do not want to play in the playoffs, and after 2 rounds, it shows that Redondo is the team to beat.
Yeah, with Osmus, with the transfers they got in the middle of the season, this team is borderline unbeatable. This team is absolutely rolling. They can get it done even when they are underperforming, and that is the scary part about this football team.
Yeah, and I'd call this a key defining win for the Seahawks. One where they were put out of their comfort zone, in the rain, in these tough conditions, and they were able to keep strong, staying together, staying as a cohesive unit, which hasn't been the true at times during the season. But with great leadership from seniors Cole Leinart, Bo Osmus, and other leaders on this team, they were able to come out with this victory, up by 1. What a great game. What a great win for the Seahawks.
They are absolutely amped, and they absolutely deserve to be so. Seahawks from the 16th seed will not stop. They keep going.
If you're any sports fan, no matter what your biases are, you gotta hope this Cinderella story can keep going. First being the 1 seed in the first round, now moving on to the quarterfinals, winning that too, moving on to the semis. You gotta imagine, how can this momentum get stopped? Who will be the one to finally stop the Seahawks? I hope nobody will. We'll see how it keeps going.
You know, we've seen in professional sports where players are playing their last seasons, and some of them get to ride off into the sunset with a championship. For these seniors here, they still have one more step to try to close out their careers as champions. And by the way they are right now, they want this really, really bad.
Absolutely. They have to go through Loyola first, which will be next week. And I imagine Coach Keith Ellison, his message in that huddle right now is that we're not finished. This isn't our big celebration because we will have more celebrations to come. Seahawks right now are looking to keep going because they got their eyes on the championship.
Yeah, just 4 words that the coaching staff will say is, gotta go to work.
Yeah, that's the thing about a football season. Even when you have a great playoff victory like this, it's never over. There's always another game, until you get to that championship game. So even though the Seahawks deserve to celebrate for this night, tomorrow it's back to work like always.
But they certainly have something to be proud of. The Seahawks put in so much work for the victory. You could tell, I like what you said earlier in the game, that this victory was won in the trenches. This was a battle for like 1 or 2 yards on those handoffs. In the rain, it was an absolute battle to try to play the run game, and every time that ball dropped, which happened a lot in these conditions, to be the first one under it. The Seahawks showed more heart because consistently they put their bodies on the line and dived under that without thinking twice.
Yeah, and again, my hat's off to St. Paul. They played a hard game. This was, again, another heavyweight bout for Redondo, and again, my hat's off to the Swordsman. They came out here and they did what they had to do, but unfortunately, the Seahawks came up with the plays that they needed to at the end.
Some keys for them next week is that they have to keep trying with that run game, because towards the beginning of the game, that run game was pretty non-existent. They were one-dimensional. Their pass game is what got them their points. But if they can get that going against a stellar Loyola defense next week, the Seahawks can have a solid chance. That defense was looking solid as ever today, and they have to keep that up too. What do you think about those plays where they blitz the linebackers with Lincoln Esparza?
Well, here's, like you mentioned, Loyola's a good football team. They have to realize they're going into a hostile territory. They're going as the away team, so the crowd will be an advantage for Loyola. So Redondo's gonna have to, draw the first blood and try to stay ahead in that game because they're playing a very good Loyola defense, as you mentioned.
But look at the flock rushing the field. You say that it'll be like an away game, but this is a passionate fan base that will, no matter what, bring energy to the Seahawks team, right, Matthew?
Oh yeah, this was a great showing out, not just by the Seahawks, of course, but also by the flock, by the fans, by the family here, sticking it out through these, you gotta say, horrid conditions, in these freezing weather, with their blankets, with their umbrellas, and being there right when the Seahawks needed them.
Yeah, eventually, I want to actually thank the fans for actually coming out here in this weather. As you see, they're on the field. This most likely would be the last home game for these Seahawk players, as the postseason might conclude on the road. So it was very fun for them to at least have a playoff game and get a big win here tonight.
Absolutely. Matthew, who did you think were the key players tonight?
I gotta give it to 2 here. Number 1, Bo Osmus, of course, getting both the touchdowns for the Seahawks, being a menace on defense as well, and overall proving why so many call him one of the best Seahawk football players to ever do it. And also, Mother Nature. You gotta give it to her. She gave us an absolute classic here. Rain causing fumbles, slips, drop punts, anything you can imagine here, making it a truly special game.
Well, I'll give you 2 game balls here. First one, I'll give it to the defense. The defense came up with some key turnovers and some key stops. And number 2, the special teams. Again, this was a one-score victory. That missed extra point really sealed the deal. They really became the factor for the win here as Redondo gets a 1-point victory.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You cannot understate the little details in a playoff football game that makes it happen. There was a lot of fumbles and a lot of things that could have gone differently. But in talking about little details, that blocked field goal was the game. That was the difference between winning and going to overtime. So Seahawks getting that block to win by a singular point is the gutsiest win I have ever viewed here on Seahawks Stadium.
Yeah, I'm still speechless about that one play earlier in the fourth quarter where it was off a defender and it was caught by the Swordsman, and that almost set up the winning touchdown. I was very surprised to see that. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that huge play with the pass deflection into the catch farther downfield. That's what you see in cartoons. That's not what you usually see in a playoff game. Yeah, I would have thrown my controller through the TV if that happened to me in Madden.
I've done that. I'm guilty.
Seahawks kept their composure and got the turnover later that drive, so kudos to them.
Yeah, this game was unpredictable from the start, like you guys have just mentioned. This was truly a fun experience to watch, not only with you guys in the commentary here, but also, again, with the flock, with the fans that truly make this unlike any other football event I've been to. The community here, the love for all the players, and how it brings people together is truly what makes Redondo football so great.
Yeah, absolutely. This atmosphere was incredible. I don't mean the physical, environmental atmosphere, because this was definitely a unique game, and I will remember it, though it might not be in the most positive of lights, but it will forever be associated with this effort, with this crowd sticking it out, with this Seahawks team diving under every loose football, of planting their foot even harder every time they slipped, and it truly showed what a football team can be under even bad conditions. And that, like, a great football team can be great even when the conditions are bad. A good football team can only be good when things are going well, but the Seahawks responded to adversity incredibly.
And Carmen, they had to dig deep, very deep in the fourth quarter, and we saw how much they had to dig deep, and it paid off for them here tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned getting things in unconventional ways. The Bo Osmond's punt return for a touchdown as the immediate response to the touchdown for St. Paul was huge. The special teams response to that touchdown to still get a block and salvage that extra point. I truly think a playoff game is won in the details, and I think that this game is a huge example of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I tell you, when we look back at this season, we're going to remember this exact game. Matthew, we're going to remember this fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I'll ever forget this. This was a truly special environment, like I said earlier. And it was awesome to see this Seahawks football team find how they could dig deep, how they could improve on tiny things, whether it be stopping a run from being 5 yards to 3 yards, making those big gains marginally smaller, stopping the run, and therefore stopping this Swordsman defense.
Yeah, it was truly a night to remember. There was absolute conditions that the Seahawks had to overcome. We had Matthew Crawford's playoff debut on the mic. We had an incredible fan section and flock. Truly an incredible game. Absolute honor to get to commentate and live stream the CIF playoffs. It was an incredible showing. So thank you for all season long tuning in to Redondo Sports. We appreciate that. Stay tuned in with the Redondo Sports socials for updates on future games as the Seahawks go on. From Redondo Sports,
this copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent from Ironclad Digital Media. Redondo Sports would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.